Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, an AI roadmap for the United States. Estonian Ambassador to the U.S., Kristjan Prikk, joins the podcast to discuss how his nation can serve as an example in adopting the emerging technology. It's Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's dive into the day's top headlines. As the internet becomes overrun with AI slop and public trust in artificial intelligence plummets, a bipartisan group of senators want to enlist the Commerce Department in an education operation about the emerging technology. The Artificial Intelligence Public Awareness and Education Campaign Act would require the Commerce Secretary to oversee an initiative to provide Americans with information about the benefits of AI in their daily lives, as well as the risks the technology presents. Todd Young, a Republican senator of Indiana and a co-sponsor of the bill, said in a statement that, quote, "With the rapid increase of AI in our society, it is important that individuals can both clearly recognize the technology and understand how to maximize the use of it in their daily lives." The campaign would detail the ubiquity of AI in everyday life and highlight its benefits, including for small business owners and in workforce opportunities with the federal government. It would also note the different ways in which various regions, economies, and subpopulations may interact with the technology, while making clear the rights of an individual under law with respect to AI. The introduction of the legislation last week came days before House Energy and Commerce Committee Republicans unveiled a reconciliation bill Sunday night that would provide the Commerce Department with $500 million for an artificial intelligence and information technology modernization initiative. Also included in Republicans' proposal is a provision that would ban state laws or other regulations on AI model systems or related automated systems. In other news, the Office of Personnel Management abruptly canceled a sole source contract for HR services from Workday on Friday, roughly a week after it was awarded. Despite its initial justification describing the agency's urgent need for services only Workday could provide, OPM clawed back the justification and terminated the $342,200 award for convenience. The agency didn't respond to FedScoop's request for comment for further information about why the contract was canceled, including whether it planned to hold a competition for the award or whether or not having the services quickly would impact the agency's upcoming modernization deadlines. In its original justification, OPM said that the sole source award, those made to a single company without a bidding process, was needed due to an urgent confluence of operational failures and binding federal mandates that required immediate action. OPM cited its outdated HR system, saying they'd reached a point of failure that is causing errors and disruptions. Additionally, the Trump administration's workforce restructuring efforts necessitate having real-time data, as well as integrated HR capabilities that OPM's current systems can't deliver, OPM said. At the time of award, OPM said that holding an open competition would cause a 6 to 9 month delay in the award while risking compliance and cost issues. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, make sure to visit fedscoop.com. Picture this. You're a guest on a special GovTech version of Jeopardy, and the final clue to put you in the lead and take home a massive cash prize is this: the most advanced digital society in the world. Do you know the answer? Or are you left stunned scribbling down your best guess? Do you know it? The answer is, what is Estonia? Since regaining independence from the Soviet Union in 1991, Estonia has been intentional about harnessing technology to build a transparent and efficient government. And today, thanks to the country's digital-first approach and the E-Estonia initiative for government services, 100% of those services are provided digitally. At last month's AITalks, I had the pleasure of interviewing Estonian Ambassador to the U.S., Kristjan Prikk, on stage, during which we touched on his nation's digital foundations, how that has set up Estonia for successful adoption of AI, and what lessons the U.S. can learn from the world leader in digital government. So with that, let's go to my interview with Ambassador Kristjan Prikk. Like I said in my opening, I've heard so much about Estonia's journey to becoming this digital-first nation and really being a model to many of the other leaders across the world. So I'd love to start there and discuss how over the past 30 years, Estonia has really been intentional about harnessing technology to build a transparent and efficient government. So tell us a bit about that, your country's digital-first approach, the E-Estonia initiative for government services, and how that's all set you up to move to the next generation of technologies that are coming about today.
Sure. So Estonia has been really forward-leaning on adopting and using the digital technologies to offer or deliver services to its people and companies for more than 30 years. How this happened, or why Estonia, I would only say that we are a nation of 1.3 million people, and a bit more than 30 years ago we regained our independence from the occupation of Soviet Union. And you know, anything that Soviet Union touched turned poor, turned ugly. So we had to start from scratch, and you know, limited resources is something that really triggers innovation. When you don't have too much people, too much money, you have to innovate. That's what we did. We've been really forward-leaning in all things digital. I think our society has developed a strong appetite, if not hunger, for digital services, and I would say that we moved from the point where the services were, you know, optionally digital, to the point where they were digital first, to a point where we actually are mostly thinking and acting in terms of how to offer services in the post-digital world, where people don't have to think how exactly these services are delivered, but there is this digital infrastructure behind it all.
Well, that's a great start and a great context, because I think it's that digital first element that really allows you to lean into what's next, and I think that's AI. So tell me about how Estonia's government has been able to implement AI technologies to enhance public services and streamline operations. Are there specific examples, whether that's in the healthcare space, public administration, or elsewhere, that you can point to?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been experimenting in our, not only in the wider society, but also within our government with different AI solutions since around 2017, so almost 10 years by now. We've been trying to be as forward-leaning and aggressive as possible to not sit there and expect and hope to have the technologies ripe enough or to be good for the wide-scale use, but also use pilots and you know, you do some mistakes, but then you can correct those and move forward. So we understand AI is there to stay, and this is a strategic tool that we can use for the advancement of our societies. So we have use cases, hundreds of use cases all across the government, the different agencies. We use those for monitoring, you know, environmental or parts of environment that where certain changes, certain triggers are easy to detect with AI technologies. We do have use cases in the healthcare sector where we want to make sure that people get the best again user experience by having the services delivered them in a most streamlined way in the hospital that has the best expertise for dealing with certain things. We are building a cross-government AI-based data management tool that will help us to you know, search information, use information in a more streamlined way without any silos there. And we are already using for many cases or many purposes when creating or you know, memos or reports for different government functions, when offering, very importantly, 100% of Estonian government services, public services are digitized. 99% of our, for example, tax tax reports or submitting taxes is something that is quite pertinent in April in America, right? 99% of our tax reports are submitted digitally. Takes like 3 minutes or so. And our tax behavior, so to say, is very good. There is a partnership between the citizenry and the government. The tax board is aggressively using, in a good way, aggressively using the AI tools to detect the patterns of possible fraud, but at the same time not bothering people who are honest taxpayers or companies that are honest taxpayers with any additional questions that they don't have time for. So we are using it for saving money and reducing bureaucracy.
Well, as somebody who just filed his taxes a couple weeks ago, it definitely didn't take me 3 minutes, so definitely jealous of that. And speaking to that, we're here in the U.S. and would love to, there's a big push across this administration and the previous one to adopt AI. Would love to hear, despite the vast difference in size and, geolocation across the world, what are some of the lessons that American federal agencies, the American government, and other policymakers can learn from your recent AI-driven efforts?
We certainly don't think that there is a one-size-fits-all solution, so I'm not advising here, but I think that there are maybe some general principles that do matter. We think that the government has to provide people with trustworthy, human-centric and proactive government services that serve people. We do think that being forward-leaning in innovation and using this innovation is something that, again, our citizens expect from the government. So we are doing sandboxing, we are doing small-scale pilots in a quite courageous way, and our people actually expect the government to do that, rather than to sit on old solutions because maybe the new solutions are not that ripe yet. They expect us to try, sometimes fail, but mostly succeed among the first. We may be small in nation, but we can be good in data management. And the last point, education is important. We have launched a whole-of-nation effort to provide the high school students, all the high school students, the most modern AI tools, the licenses for educational versions of these AI tools, and very importantly, we provide the teachers with the training so that they can be great teachers and help their students to be better with AI. After all, we believe that in the future, our jobs will not be lost to AI, but to people who are better in using AI. So we rather want to be the best people to use AI in the world.
Fantastic way to wrap it up. Ambassador Prikk, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule today. Let's give him a warm round of applause.
Thank you, that was great.
More on the United States' adoption of AI, visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back tomorrow with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, as always, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.